There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in extravagant parties, luxuries, drugs, and alcohol. After spending all his inheritance, he began to be in need. As the money dried out, he found himself in the streets, hungry and alone, with all his friends gone. He went and started looking for a job. The town was not hiring. He was longing to fill his stomach, but no one cared. He was now hungry and alone. Follow for part 2. Thanks for watching. Thinking out loud, he said, "How many of my father's employees have food to spare, and here I am starving to death, cold with no place to call home. I will go back home and say to my father, 'I have sinned against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Hire me like one of employees.'" In the distance, his father saw him coming and was filled with joy and compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said, "Father, I have sinned. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. I have spent everything you gave me, did things I shouldn't have." Follow for part 3. Thanks for watching. Quick! Let him wear the best clothes. Put a gold on his neck and shoes on his feet. Roast a pig. Let's have a feast to celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So tonight come and let us rejoice and celebrate for my beloved son's return. The older son was working in the barn when he saw his house in the distance. He heard music and dancing coming from the house. Asking one of the employees, who was also there, working what's happening. "Your brother has come home," he replied, "and your father has made a feast and celebration for his safe return." The older brother became angry as he pulled his father outside to talk, saying, "Father, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders." Follow for part 4. Thanks for watching. Yet you never feasted. But when this son of yours, who leaves home to squander your gifts with parties, lavish luxuries, drugs, and alcohol comes back, you feast and kill a pig for him. My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we have to celebrate and be glad, because your brother, who we thought was dead, and is alive again. He was lost and is found. How about you, who has come back in your life after all these years that was worth celebrating and rejoicing their return? Comment and share your story. This story comes from Luke chapter 15, verse 11 to 32, titled The Prodigal Son. Great stories are meant to be shared. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.
There once lived a merchant in the famous markets of Baghdad. It was June or May, I can't really say. But on this day he found himself caught astray. As a strange-looking man was looking his way, he squinted his eyes, and it came as no surprise. This man is no stranger, but rather someone I didn't want to anger. They call him many names, but my mother Azrael. You might know him better as Death the Grim Reaper. The man's skin crawled, his face pale. The man quickly fled in the horizon, turned tail. 4 weeks in the water blue yonder. For without saying a word, his heart already had heard. Come hell or high water, across the world an escape he was after. Through the lush forest of Kinabalu, off in the wilderness, he had no clue. Follow for part 2. Thanks for watching. From the plains of Mongolia, he flew up the mountains of Nepali. He traveled far and wide. All he wanted to do was hide, until he reached the ends of the world. In a small village called Samara up in the sky, years had passed in a glimpse of an eye. As he neared the gates, he saw a figure. It was none other than Death, go figure. Smiling, he walked closer. "Very well," said the merchant, "I give in, I surrender." But tell me, why did you look surprised when you saw me that morning in Baghdad? Because, said Death, I had an appointment with you tonight in Samara. What do you think? Can we escape our fate? Comment and share your thoughts. This is an old tale from the Babylonian Talmud. The title of the tale is Servant from Samara. Great stories are meant to be shared. Hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching.
A long time ago, an expert in law stood up to test his teacher. "Teacher," he asked, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "What is written in the law?" Teacher replied. He answered, "To love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, strength, and mind, and love your neighbor as love yourself." "You have answered correctly," Teacher replied. "Do this and you will live." But he wanted to justify himself, so he asked Teacher, "And who is my neighbor?" In his reply, the teacher said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead." After a while, follow for part 2. Thanks for watching. The mayor of the nearby town happened to be going down the same road that afternoon. Seeing the man passed out bloody and hurt, he passed on the other side. Soon after, a priest came to the same road to get to the next town and perform worship. When he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. It was noon and the sun was at its highest. The vultures could be seen above circling, waiting for their chance. Around the same time, a local baker was traveling to the next town after shopping goods for the bakery, they all pouring out of his small cart. When he came across the man was passed out on the side of the road, and there were scratch wounds from a fight. When he saw that, he took pity on him. He pulled his cart next to the man, bandaged his wounds, poured water on his mouth. After that, he hoisted him up on his cart. The normal day suddenly took a turn, and he was struggling to push the cart with the deer on board. "The cart won't budge," he thought to himself. Follow for part 3. Thanks for unload his belonging on the side of the road under a sycamore tree. He put the man on the cart and continued. When he reached town, he went straight to the local inn, leaving the deer behind and giving 2 silver coins to the innkeeper. "Please nurse his wounds, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have." Then off he went back to the mountain. "Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?" asked the teacher. The law expert replied, "The one who had mercy on him." Teacher said, "Now go and do likewise." If you were the one who came across that person on your travels, what would you have done? Comment and share your story. This story comes from Luke chapter 10, verse 25 to 37, titled, The Good Samaritan. Great stories are meant to be shared. Hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching.